All right, everybody, I'm going to do these app audits as you saw in the Facebook group. You can see this post here. You can already see some people starting to comment, or a lot of people are commenting, which is great. Um, and I'm going to try to do this every day for like a week or so because I think that this is really important. I think this will help a lot of people. So I'm just going to start from the top and then I'll go through the rest of these and see which ones will be most helpful. I don't, I'll do what I can. I have not looked at any of these apps. I'm not going to dress rehearse this. This is straight what I would do if I was doing a completely first time look, right? Okay, so I'm just going to start at the top here. Pomi is the ultimate Pomodoro time management app. Terrific. So I'm going to click on that. Oh, it already opened up over here. Okay, so cool. So we've got the page, right? So the first thing I would say is so people who know what the Pomodoro technique is, or who don't know what the Pomodoro technique is, it's like a way to do time management where I believe it's like 30 minutes on, 5 minutes off, or it's like blocks of time into that. So this is really good because we already know who the target demographic is. It's people that are interested in the Pomodoro technique. Now, what's also great about this is that you have a larger subset of people that are interested in productivity, and they might not know the Pomodoro time management technique. So those are the two markets that we're thinking about here. So as I'm looking at this, I'm imagining myself as someone who's thinking about, okay, I really want to know more about productivity, right? And what is my real benefit when I'm thinking about productivity? It's that I want to get more out of the day. I want to be more effective. But why do you want to get more out of the day? Well, typically it's because you feel like you're not getting enough out of the day, which inevitably causes you stress, right? Or you're not growing your business fast enough. Like, let's get to the real heart of it. So when I look at this, I see Pomi, the ultimate Pomodoro time management app. But when I really drill in and think about like who really wants to be more productive, is probably people that are stressed out, people that want to have massive growth, people that love efficiency. Like what feelings do these people have that I can really tap into? So I think the first thing I would think about, I don't know how you can bake it into the title or like how deliberate you want to be, but maybe think about something like Pomi, the ultimate Pomodoro time management app. Like the Pomodoro time management app for reducing stress or for creating efficiency or whatever it may be, but really drill in that benefit if you can. So that's the first thing I would do. The icon, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I am not the best icon auditor. I don't always have the best icon ideas. I do think that I would look, and I'm just going to type this in, Pomodoro technique. I'm going to type this into Google, and then I'm going to click on images. And I'm just going to look and see what images come up. Now, maybe, I don't know if there's like I don't know if this is some sort of so any color is coming up, right? And this is all red. Now, why is it all red? I don't know. I don't know enough about the Pomodoro technique to know that it's all red, but that's the second thing, right? Like this is all blue, which, the color theory of blue is that this may be more calming or whatever. But if I type this in and this is all red, people associate the color red with the Pomodoro technique. Now, if you click on all right, this is obviously the main one. Boom. Like that's what you want your icon to look like. Obviously, you can't rip them off, but if this is what if this is what people know the Pomodoro technique to be, I would definitely maybe do a check mark that looks like that P or something, and then throw that tomato in there or whatever. I don't know. But do you see what I'm saying? There's a huge disconnect between you're trying to leverage the brand that they already have or the technique style or whatever, but you're not leveraging any of the graphics. Now, this is obviously without knowing anything about, if you've already done this or if you've had any sort of trademark issues, but that's what I would say. Productivity, obviously, that's great. More frustrated, not being able to accomplish a task, even after doing multiple tasks all day long. You don't need to look further. So just from this is getting really nitty gritty. I would break this paragraph up a little bit. Make the first sentence a killer headline, and then break it into a few short sentences. People have a better time reading that more often than not. I think I would also, in the first, instead of explaining Pomodoro what it is, I would explain your app. I would explain why you're calling it the ultimate Pomodoro app. I'd be like, this app does X that no other app does, right? Like this app like reduces stress unlike any other Pomodoro technique because blank, so you can blank or whatever. But that's what I would, in this first paragraph, talk about this. Don't talk about this. I think you'll see a lot more. I think I wouldn't necessarily change your business right now, but this is a good example of this may be hurting you. There's no data to prove this right now, and obviously this is also on desktop. This isn't on a phone, which is where most of the searches are done. I don't think you should do anything about this yet, but for anybody out there, this is a good example where if you have a productivity app and you're really going big on this one, you may want to think about how do you create a new account where you can move these out of, or move the productivity in there. Okay, so the screenshots, capture all your tasks in your task inventory, write press release, share on social media, estimate tasks in the to-do today, estimate tasks in to-do today screen and start cracking. Focus on just one task, monitor, review your, okay. So I think it's really important to remember there's screenshots and there's onboarding experiences. To me, this looks like an onboarding experience. This is showing me how I'm going to use the app, which is totally great. And I think that can work in utilities. But what I want to see is I want you to tell me what happens if I capture all my tasks in the task inventory. So I want you to say like, efficiently organize all your to-do things. So all of a sudden I'm like, wow, okay, I finally have an easy place to put all my stuff. Estimate tasks in to-do day and start cracking. Okay, 10x your output with this clear system, right? That's a benefit. This right here is just telling me where I'm going to do it. I want to know why I'm doing it. Focus on just one task and monitor your progress or to-do screen. Maybe something where it's like a quote from, like, go find a Huffington Post article and quote it and say, studies show that focusing on one task will allow you to be 400% more effective. And then you call out, it's like, we eliminate distractions with this app. You see what I'm saying? So like, make it less of an onboarding experience and more of a, holy cow, this is amazing. And I'm also going to go back to this idea of what makes this the ultimate. Why is this different? Why is it Pommy and not, I'm not going and checking something else out. So anyway, that's just on the conversion side. This is just on the iTunes page. And now let's open up this. I'm mirroring my iPhone here. Again, guys, I have not downloaded this. So Pommy, it's interesting. I don't know what Pommy Health is. I'm just going to check that out just so that it has nothing to do with anything. I'm always interested in that, right? Like Pomodoro. Okay, Pommy is obviously what comes up. I'm just going to look. I'm just looking and seeing what else comes up. So Pomodoro timer, focus booster, time, watch, best timer, flow, express. So when I look at this, what I'm thinking, and I bet I don't even need to go do the keyword research. I can probably tell you the people that are searching for Pomodoro in the App Store, they already know what it is. They're just looking for a tool that's going to time it. So when you're thinking about this app, when you're looking through this app, you don't need to explain this. You're not trying to convince people, hey, this technique, this new strategy is the way to do it. These people already know what they're looking for, right? Like they already know they're looking for a timer or some sort of watch or whatever it may be. So I think that's the other thing is when you think about the users who are looking for this in the App Store, just from an ASO standpoint, that's what they're looking for. Okay, so cool. So we put this in, and Pommy taste. All right, and again, like this all comes back. We got the whole thing. We already looked through all this. Reviews, no reviews quite yet. And I wouldn't really worry about that. All right, so I'm just gonna click get, install. And it's going to download. There we go. Download, and hopefully we get this down in a second. I think it's like, what, 31 megabytes. All right, well, as that's downloading, let's just look at this. Okay, so while this is downloading, let's do something completely, like, let's step it back for a minute based on that blog post that I just wrote about market research, right? So Facebook ad insights. I don't want the API, I just want the insights. Let's see, ads, advertising. What am I doing here? Facebook ads manager. Okay, great. So let's kick this open. Let's go down to audience insights. This is just a test account. Obviously, there's nothing in there. All right, so we're going to go to everyone on Facebook, and I'm going to do a lot of this on Friday as well. I'm going to show you guys, so bear with me. And I'm just going to type in Pomodoro technique. All right, let's see how many people. All right, so this is surprising. Holy cow. I didn't think it would be 50% of women who are interested in this. I would have thought this was like way more men than women. But look at that. It's more women than men. I had no idea. Now, who knows exactly how specific this is, but this is really interesting. Summit Estates, what does that mean? The families are enjoying the good life. So it's luxury families. Skybox is one of the best education. So you're looking at kind of like an upper tier group of people. So you're looking at, relatively even split, a little more women, but the people are a little more sophisticated, definitely more educated, which I would imagine you could see down here. They're typically in a relationship, and they're left-brained, right? There's no surprises here. Look at this, 117% more people who are interested are in grad school. So you're catering to a higher end, more sophisticated, more affluent relationship audience. So the customer avatar might be, this couple where they live in this really nice place in the suburbs. They're both working a corporate job, and they've got their vision boards out, and they spend their time reading really good books, and they have goals, and they stay disciplined, and they're analytical, and they read The Economist, and all this good stuff, right? And you can start to drill into this, right? Like they're watching TED Talks on the weekend instead of going out and watching the NFL. Like they really like the Dalai Lama, like humans in New York, they're humanitarians, like they love science. All these sort of things really start to paint a picture of who these people are. So now I've got an idea of who this person is, and I always like to give this person a name. Where are they located? Now instead of cities, I go to countries. All right, so Australia, Canada, Peru, Brazil, United Kingdom. So this is really interesting too in terms of what audiences you really want to potentially go after. Brazil, I mean, you can get maybe potentially a lot of cheap users there, but let's say they're Australia, right? Just because that's an easy example. So now I'm thinking about, all right, they're highly educated. They're in Australia. They're left-brained. They're working in IT. They're trying to figure out how to become more efficient, how to move up, how to create more wealth for themselves. Very kind of classic middle to upper middle class family, or a family that's in the middle class and they want to be upper middle class. And finally, what sort of activities? This isn't as important. This is more about the Facebook ad stuff, but we'll talk. But now all of a sudden I have a very good idea of who these people are, right? At first I might have thought that it's like a single guy entrepreneur, kind of like, someone who's in the Bluecloud world, who's doing their own thing and they're just trying to like make money. But in reality, it may be someone who's just really busy and they're making a lot of money and they just want to get more efficient, right? It's more about the busyness in their mind and not the busyness in their actual job, right? And so that's something to start to think about, all right? And so now I'm going to open this up. Let me just do this, make it easier. All right, so now I've got this opened. I'm going to open it up. All right, so the first thing, plan, do, review. I will definitely allow push notifications. So the first thing you might want to think about doing on that push notifications is create a prompt in your own with your own code so that it says, hey, we're going to give you notifications so that your timer works more effectively, right? Like give them a reason why they want to allow push notifications. Otherwise, more than 50% of people are going to say no. 50% of people say no automatically, right? But in an app like this, where you already know, based on all this research we just did, you already know that they get distracted easily, and they're downloading this app so they don't get distracted. So you might want to give them a prompt and say, please do not, or here's why you need notifications. This isn't to annoy you, it's to alert you when your timer's up. Okay, so select your preferred language. We're gonna do English. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna say, you have to have an onboarding experience. These are very easy to put in, and you can really just repurpose your screenshots from your iTunes account. But the number one thing that needs to happen is you need to tell people what they're supposed to do first. So when it comes to inventory, there should be a pop-up or there should be a screen that shows me not only what the inventory is, but what do I need to do next, right? So I'm assuming I click this plus button, which I click here. I have no idea what these colors are. I'm assuming it's like you can group things like in Google Calendar, test here, and then I'm gonna click done. So that's in my inventory. Now I'm gonna click it again. I'm gonna do a blue one, be like blue testing, done. And so you can start to see, all right, okay, now I kind of get it. Now if I click blue test, nothing happens. Today, again, I don't know what today is gonna be about. I don't know what test here is gonna be about. If I swipe it left, it goes remove. All right, what's gonna happen when I click out here? Settings. What happens in settings? POMI length, short break, long break. You'll be really good is if you just above all this, right above here, like in the actual screen, you could embed like a YouTube video where you just say, hey, let me show you what this all means and why you should, what the recommended length would be. And maybe have a few preset best practices. So like this default is the standard POMI default or whatever. And then you have one called like the Terminator, and you do a different set of lengths. And then you have one called Weekend Warrior, and you have like the whole deal. And they can just press that, and it gives them different setups. So it removes choice, right? Because at the end of the day, you always want to remove choice. You just want them to do stuff. All right, so we're going to go back. Website, I know what that's all about. Support, rate this app, language. That's all very, very straightforward. So I think the biggest thing for me is like, I don't really understand what to do today. I'm trying to click the plus button. Okay, well, today, what does that mean? Nope, that goes back into my inventory. And I guess I'm not really sure. Maybe it's down here. I click the blue thing down here. And what does this do? What does the writing do? That didn't do anything. What if I click checkbox, inventory? There's no current running task. Okay. Review. Do I go back? How do I get back to the home screen now? Right? So, okay, that takes me back to the home screen. So this, I guess, is supposed to be like a menu. I would call that out, or I would like let people know how to use this, right? So I'm trying to click test here. It's not working. It's trying to click today. So I think that there's something here, right? We did the market research. You know who you're targeting. I think the biggest thing you need to work on is you need to show people how to use this really, really effectively. You need to make videos. You need to do an onboarding experience. You need to just drill it into them how to use it and how often to use it. So I think one of the best things you can do is like what Headspace does, where you obviously have a great onboarding experience, and then you say, you should do this for 5 days. 5 days of the Pomodoro technique, even if you only do it for 30 minutes a day, is how you get the most out of it. After you do it for 5 days, it becomes a habit or whatever. And then you start to, every day you do, hey, it's day 2. Are you ready to do it? Like, let me know. Like that can be a push notification. But I think that like you've got the baseline mechanics here. Like you obviously have the reporting and all that, like we saw here. But the problem is that I just don't know how to use this app. I honestly don't know how to get started. Like, I want to go. I want to do something. I want to start. But I don't know. I don't know how to. I guess I can go. I can click this. There's currently no running task. Please add a task from the plan screen. Like, what do I do, right? And so, so I guess we'll stop there. That's what I would say. I think you really got to work on the onboarding, get the user experience down. I think you really want to dial in and start looking at this stuff. Like, I would definitely go to this page, Pomodoro technique, and I would start just studying this. I would read through all these comments, and I would be like, what kind of language are these guys using? All right, so look at this. I mean, this one is, this is written in English. This one is written in no idea. This one's written in English, right? Like, I would go through all these different things. I would see what these people are talking about. I would see what gets the most engagement. I would see what videos they're sharing, all this sort of stuff. I would see what other pages they like, right? And you could see what other things that they like. And you can really start to dial in. So that's my audit. I don't even know how long that was. I think the app is great. I think this is a terrific category. And then I would go from there. I think one last thing that I'll do before we take off is I want to check out this website. I'm assuming this is what's linked in your app. So when you go here, perfect Pomodoro tool, Pomi, plan, review, do. Good. So the first thing you would do, you want to add a retargeting pixel onto this. Go to Facebook, add a retargeting pixel. That's a big thing, so you can start to learn about the people visiting your site. Let's see what the code looks like on this. Let's see what the footer. So if you don't have Google Analytics on there, that's the other thing you got to put on there. Just load up Google Analytics. Maybe I'm missing this, but let's see. So that code's not in there. You definitely want to add that so that you can start to drive traffic to this. This is good. You might want to get rid of the first name. You're going to get a higher conversion rate if you don't have the first name in there. All this sort of thing. So yeah, I think this is a great start. You just need to use this as a data mine more than a sales tool at this point. But overall, man, you're on the right track, and there's definitely a lot of potential. I think that from a branding standpoint, you really want to get that more red in there, so you can leverage what those guys are already doing. But killer stuff, and I hope this has been helpful. Tomorrow we'll do a whole new one. All right, guys, peace out.